everyone. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us here this afternoon. I'd like to say to all of my colleagues, thank you for your commitment, your dedication, and your support of our colleague, Representative LaMonica McIver. I'm Congresswoman Yvette D. Clarke, Chair of the Congressional Black Caucus and proud representative of New York's 9th District in the United States Congress. Well, we know exactly why we're here today. And that is because the President of the United States has weaponized his Department of Justice in an attempt to make a young Congresswoman from New Jersey the focal point of his efforts to intimidate Congress into submission. Let me be overwhelmingly clear. Congresswoman McIver has the full and unwavering support of the Congressional Black Caucus, period.
All right.
Congresswoman McIver was at the Delaney Hall for one reason and one reason alone, and that was to do her job.
That's right.
Members of Congress have every right to conduct oversight at ICE facilities and any other federal agency. And when egregious, undeniable, and vicious violations of the law and people's freedoms are taking place, they, in fact, have an obligation to do so. We've all seen the video. The American people know of LaMonica's innocence, and that is why they recognize this reprehensible political stunt for the farce that it is. To charge this woman with this crime would be laughable if it weren't so sadistic. But we've seen these types of scenarios play out before. It's a tale as old as America. People in power will always find a strong black woman or man to target, to bully, to intimidate, to insult, to malign, and to harm, because our strength puts a spotlight on their weakness. They cannot tolerate a world that knows precisely how small they are. Let's try to understand the coincidence and significance this moment and this historical context that these charges would fall on LaMonica on the day of Malcolm X's 100th birthday. Her story is his. His story is ours. And we're never going to stop telling it. Well, Mr. Trump, if you and the TV lawyer you have playing dress up as the U.S. Attorney of the District of New Jersey want to enter into a contest of intestinal fortitude with this caucus and with these members, you should know our nerves are tempered in battle by foes far more frightening than you.
Yes.
So listen now and listen close. No matter how many attempts your administration makes to intimidate Congress, local leaders, the federal workforce, or anyone who stands up against the Trump regime, you should know our resolve is only deepened by this disgusting attack. If you want to get to LaMonica, you're going to have to go through a hell of a lot of us first. You do not have the capacity to scare us. We shall not be moved. Having said that, it is now my honor and privilege to call to the podium at this time the chairwoman of the Democratic Women's Caucus, Representative Teresa Leja Fernandez.
Thank you, Chairwoman Clarke, for telling it like it is and telling the country where we stand. And look at the people behind us. I am Teresa Leger Fernandez, and I am the representative from the 3rd Congressional District of Nuevo Mexico and the chair of the Democratic Women's Caucus. And from across the caucus and from across the country, we are here to stand with Representative LaMonica from New Jersey. Go LaMonica McIver. We're here to stand with LaMonica McIver from New Jersey, no matter where we come from. Because we know that women in Trump's America are not safe. Trump is acting like the Department of Justice is his own little goon squad. He's suing the press. He's suing the universities. He's suing people just for supporting Kamala Harris. He wants to get rid of judges who rule against him. And now he's coming after Congress. America's ideals rejected the concept of a king. We adopted a constitution that calls for free press, for due process, and for a Congress that is separate from the administration. Article 1 creates a Congress that is the people's representative. We represent the people of the United States of America. And the people's representatives will not be intimidated by a president who does not understand or value our constitutional principles. And you know who values our constitutional principles? Every one of the New Jersey representatives who stood up and went to that facility. And I want to recognize our New Jersey representatives who stood there, who came, who walked over. Come on, Bonnie. Come on,
Bonnie and Rob.
To do their constitutional duty. And what were they met with? They were met with masked and armed ICE agents. Look at them. And they're CHC and CBC caucus members. Imagine the forces that were arrayed against them just because they went to do their job. So we are going to stand with all the representatives, whether you're in Arizona or New Jersey or New Mexico or wherever you are at, to do your job, to hold this administration accountable. We stand with you. Because if we are not standing with you, who is safe?
That's right.
Who is safe in this America? And I need to say, think of that poem. I don't need to say it, but you know what it says. We will speak up. We will speak up and we will stand with you. Estamos contigo, Mónica, LaMonica.
Yes.
And now I'd like to represent Representative Gregorio Casar, the chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus.
Buenas tardes. I would really first like to thank and recognize Congressman Menendez and Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman. We stand with Congresswoman McIver and the entire New Jersey delegation. We just walked over here from our Progressive Caucus meeting where we recognize that Donald Trump doesn't want us conducting oversight at ICE facilities like these brave members of Congress were doing. He wants to intimidate us out of doing that. And in our meeting, we decided we're just about to go and do a lot more oversight visits at ICE facilities. Donald Trump's Department of Justice filing baseless charges against a member of Congress for simply doing her job should send a chill down the spine of every American. Members of Congress have a responsibility to conduct oversight. Members of Congress have a legal obligation and a legal right to conduct oversight. These charges are a direct attack on the ability of Congress to hold the government accountable to the people. But this is not just about the rights of members of Congress. Every single American should be deeply concerned about what this means for the rights of everyone. If the president will weaponize the Department of Justice against elected officials who oppose him, then no American is safe from his abuse of power. If you're watching at home, you should know Donald Trump does not intend to stop here. It might start with members of Congress. Next, it's your local mayor. Next, it's your local judiciary. Next, it's someone in your family or at your school. Trump wants to live in a country where he and his billionaire buddies run everything, and everyone else is afraid to stand up to them. But let me tell you this, we are not afraid. We will not be silenced, and we will not be intimidated by these second-rate bullies. That's right. Yes. Is that right, y'all? That's damn right.
Come on. That's right.
The Progressive Caucus, the Democratic Caucus, and this country will stand up against presidential abuses of power. We've seen second-rate bullies before try to manipulate and use the White House to their advantage, but we will stand with the American people. We will stand with the basic rights we have fought and marched and bled for in this country. We will stand with Congresswoman McIver, and we will use every legal and congressional avenue to defend the rights of Americans to elect representatives who uphold the law, even when Donald Trump refuses to. Thank you. Yeah, okay. And next we have the U.S. Senator from New Jersey, Cory Booker.
I'm standing here at a time that should make all of us as Americans truly afraid. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. When they come after judges, we should be afraid. When they come after people who use their First Amendment rights, we should be afraid. When they come after law firms for representing clients of their choice, we should be afraid. When they attack universities and the vital role they play in a free society, we should be afraid. But I am telling you, fear is understandable. But fear that freezes is unacceptable. That's right. We need to turn our fear into fight, understanding that the other side of fear is courage. Right. You cannot have great courage unless you face down great fear. And that is what they're trying to do. We saw that whole episode. My congressional colleagues from New Jersey did their job. They actually are obeying the Constitution. They are standing up to give checks and balances to this administration at a time that the Republicans in control of the House and the Senate are laying down and completely abrogating their duties to check and balance and give oversight to the president. They showed up on that day. They were invited in. They were held in a room, and it wasn't until they saw officers streaming out to arrest a mayor in America who was trying to get a private for-profit prison to abide by health codes and fire safety, like every other business, private company in Newark, New Jersey. And then in a situation that should have been de-escalated, they ramped it up, endangering everybody there, and arrested a man that now they're saying they're not filing charges against. All of this incident was because of an arrest that was an unjust use of power, that was an abuse of power, and that they now have shown their cards. They had no right to arrest him in the first place.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So these three Congress people caught up in that crisis, stood their ground, used their voice, and did their job. And if there was such a violation of the law that went on, the irony is, after it was all done and a mayor was unjustly arrested, they invited the three of them back in and gave them a tour. I mean, the lie is laid plain right there, that there is some kind of assault or aggressive action. Trust me, I used to lead law enforcement because I was the mayor of that city. You don't bring people in and give them a tour of a facility. If they had done something, you arrest them on the spot. But we know there was political reflection. We know there was political calculation. We know there was politics at play that was intending upon using law enforcement to pursue a political end.
That's right.
This is a part of a pattern of this administration. This is a part of a pattern of administration that continues to abuse the fundamental rights of our nation. And so the question is right now is, will we stand up and say no? Will we stand up and let our voices be heard? Because if we don't stand up when they come after a judge, if we don't stand up when they come after a law firm, when they don't stand up when they come after someone's due process rights, we will be next. But the line is drawn here. We stand together for our democracy. We stand together for the affirmation of our rights. We stand together for the Constitution of the United States of America. And I tell you right now, we will have justice.
I don't know who's behind you, but they're in trouble.
That's right.
And now we have the Dean of the New Jersey delegation, Ranking Member Frank Pallone.
Thank you. First I want to thank my senator, but let me just say this. You know that New Jersey people are very courageous, and we got two of the bravest right here, as well as LaMonica, because they are brave. But I want to tell you, on January 6th, this is the place where, and I saw it, where police were beaten with flagpoles and sprayed with bear spray by Trump supporters. Now Trump's Department of Justice is cutting a $5 million check to the family of one of those attackers who tried to breach the House chamber with a violent mob. Right here. I saw it. The Trump administration can't claim to support law enforcement and police officers while bankrolling the people who attacked the police on this spot.
That's right.
In fact, the man who attacked New Jersey native officer Brian Sicknick, who died after January 6th because of the attack, walked free. That officer walked, that mobster, if you want to call it, he walked free thanks to Trump's pardon and the deafening silence of congressional Republicans. Now, let's not forget the Fraternal Order of Police, the chiefs of police, called Trump's pardons an insult to law enforcement. And now the Department of Justice has the nerve to charge Congresswoman LaMonica McIver for doing her job. It's outrageous. It's just politics, plain and simple. Now, when my New Jersey colleagues, McIver, Watson, Coleman, Menendez, visited this ICE facility in Newark, they were met by unidentified masked agents with loaded weapons, and now they face charges. The Department of Justice and ICE are weaponizing this place. They have all kinds of people there today as we speak. More law enforcement officers, more ICE people, more personnel, more guns, trying to weaponize what goes on there, and it's outrageous. Oversight by my colleagues, it's not a crime unless you're in a fascist state. Then it's a crime. And that is exactly what this president wants to do, create a fascist state in our democracy. And we just can't allow it to happen. So today, the New Jersey members, we sent a letter from all of our Democrats in the delegation to Chairman Jordan and Ranking Member Raskin on the Judiciary Committee ahead of this afternoon's Judiciary hearing. And we said how outrageous this was, how this should not have taken place. But again, they're trying to do the same thing here. Jeff Van Drew, one of our Republican members from New Jersey, he is chairman of this subcommittee, and this hearing is being held today because the Republicans want to make an example, and as the senator said, they want to create fear, not only with the American public, but with us as members of Congress. That's what they're all about today with this judiciary hearing. And we're saying, again, in our letter, that members have the legal right to make unannounced inspections. Our own ICE director, the director, confirmed last week that is true, that you can go unannounced and you can go, for part of your oversight responsibility, you can go to any of these facilities and do an inspection. So the problem here is, if Trump's Department of Justice can criminalize Congresswoman LaMonica McIver for doing her job, even though they admit she was doing her job, then no member is safe from political retaliation. And that's what they're up against. So we have to stand up against this, not only for our New Jersey members, not only for members of Congress, but for all the American people. We want a democracy. We don't want a fascist state. And if we don't stand up, and we will, that's the problem. We have to stand up for democracy. That's what this is all about. So thank you.
Thank you. So let me just again thank all of our colleagues who have taken the time from their busy schedules, because there's a lot going on Capitol Hill. Nothing more important than making sure that we stand shoulder to shoulder with those who are being prosecuted by this administration. Is they come for LaMonica today, they'll come for any of us tomorrow. And we are standing between tyranny and justice in this nation. And I want to say to the members of the press, we see you, because we understand that many of you are targeted as well. And so this democracy thrives because we all stand together embracing the liberty, the justice that is guaranteed us in the Constitution. LaMonica McIver understands the Constitution and did what any of us could be doing, will be doing, and that is ensuring that no atrocities occur in these private facilities on our watch. And so let me thank you all once again and ask if there are any members of the press who have any questions at this time. Would you say your name and your outlet, please?
Our attorneys are meeting with them tomorrow individually. That's the first contact that we've actually had from her. So we don't know what she has intended, but we're ready for whatever it might be.
Charges.
Well, they've indicated that that's a possibility, and so it's a possibility and it may be a probability. We shall see.
Lauren Burke, Black Press USA. Have you thought about suing the government over this for assault? Have you thought about any legal action against them?
We've not talked about anything like that. We're just trying to do our job and be safe.
Yes, your name?
Congressman Basil John with Nexstar, Pix 11. If you can, is there a fear from you and your colleagues that possibly Speaker Johnson may take his own steps to possibly punish the Congresswoman? And what kind of precedent could that set?
You know, it would be a very bad precedent. And we don't know what Speaker Johnson will do. What we can say as members collectively is that we're not having it. LaMonica McIver was doing her job, a job that we all swore to do as well, under the Constitution, under the law. And that's where we stand. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank y'all very much. Great job, Shirley.